fuck you getting to the money? It ain't that enough.
Y'all know who it is. It's South Central B.ROB, the LA rapper. And this is the South Central B.ROB Show, episode 1. Hey, listen, we about to get real controversial. You hear me? And this show is for all the people that's been out there telling me every day that I need a podcast. It's finally happening. So you definitely got to support this shit. You hear me? I'm going to try my best not to do a whole lot of cussing. But you know how that go. But yeah, let's get into it though. You know what I'm saying? So look, this is how we're going to start off episode 1, right? I'm going to give y'all a bit of an introduction of where I come from. Obviously, the show is South Central, so you can see that it's South Central is where I come from. Come from the Westmont district, the southwest side of LA. You feel me? Born and raised in the hundreds. You feel me? Went to schools like Washington. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know, you know what I'm saying, what area I come from. Born and raised in LA. I know the whole LA. I know a gang of people in LA. And you know what I'm saying? We're about to talk about different topics from within LA and outside of LA, things that affect LA and the world. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, LA right now, the cost of living is bullshit. Everything is just up right now. So we're about to get into our first topic, speaking of the cost of living being up right now. And that's Donald J. Trump. For all you people out there that hate Trump, listen, you can hate him or love him. This is not a matter of your emotions, your feelings. This is about the matter of a person that's talking about change, right? And he won based on change. People want to see change. We've been stuck in some type of time warp where it's like, what is really going on? And he spoke on things that people want to hear, people can see, and it's all things that make sense. And the other side was, if you ask me, was just a bunch of fear-mongering and a whole bunch of lies. And my assessment of doing my research, the lady ain't black. She put a whole lot of black people in jail, and was basically contradicting everything she talked about. Talking about she wasn't going to take guns, but it's clear evidence where she was talking about going in people's homes, talking about taking guns out of these people's homes. Not to mention, she was locking black mothers up for their kids in truancy when these kids wasn't even chewing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all type of evidence out there like that's stating that no black people should have voted for her. And if you voted for her based on just because you thought she was black, it's ignorant in itself, if you ask me. And then another thing I was seeing, right, was that it's so-called black women mad at black men for voting for Donald Trump. Why? I'm confused. Because if you looked at the numbers, I think it was like, 78% black men voted for Kamala, if I'm not mistaken. So how are y'all not satisfied? That's a high number. No other race of men voted that high for this lady. In my opinion, was stupid. And it shows that black men is following black women, which is not good. In my opinion. This is where we at right now, right? And I feel like where that started was, you know, during the times where they started bringing in welfare, getting the men out the house, and then things started to become a matriarch where you got women in higher education, women making more money, and now you got men following women when it's supposed to be women following the men. So now we're about to turn this shit around and start voting Republican to start getting things back on track. Because if you know, black people was Republicans before Democrats. Y'all do know that, right? And the ideology of the Democrats is basically get it on your own. Don't depend on the system. The Democrats, they need your dependency. It was all a separation. They want us to be divided. They want us to fight amongst each other. They want that. Because if the black man and the black woman is like this, they can't stop us. They had to ruin the family structure to start breaking us down. Once we figure that out, that we're not the enemy, that's when we're going to start to prosper again. And I believe we're on the right track right now. It's just going to take more time and for us to stop feeding into this fake media, fake narratives, all this BS they putting out there. You know what I'm saying? And so far, I think I've been doing good with not cussing. You know what I'm saying? But what's the next subject? What we got? Oh, Candace Owens goes right into, segueing into, you know what I'm saying, what we was talking about. This young lady has so much knowledge and potential, and she says all the right things. Like, how could you not agree with the stuff she says? And what's crazy is, before I started to get up on her content, all I used to hear was a bunch of negative, oh, she this, oh, she that, until I started to do my own research, because y'all need to start doing your own research and stop believing everything you hear. I started to see that we're alike. The thing is, people just don't like when you tell the truth. She tells the truth. She does a lot of research. She does her homework, and she's highly educated, and they don't like it. They don't like when black people, especially black women, is educated and can stand and talk even with the best of men, because I've seen her do it, and talk these men to like a small molecule, and they looking stupid, can't even talk. You know what I'm saying? So I respect her to the utmost. And I'm listen, one of these shows, y'all gonna see me rock one of them hats she been selling. The Make Kamala Indian Again. That hat is funny and it's real. You know what I'm saying? And let's see what else we got. I don't want to make this show robotic. It's kind of feeling robotic now that I'm getting into like the subjects. You know what I'm saying? But this is my first show, y'all. So y'all rock with me. Y'all gonna start to see improvements. Y'all gonna start to see from episode 1 how I do from episode 2 and beyond. You feel me? But this next subject, it's really controversial all across the board. But we're gonna speak on the black community, because that's what I represent. Y'all see my skin tone. And just the whole abortion thing, I know it's a touchy subject, but it needs to be talked about, right? Because I was doing my research like I always do, and since like 1973, it's been 63 billion black babies aborted. That is an astronomical number when you think about where our numbers are in this country and where they could be if only a small percentage of those babies survived during that time frame, right? And I know women like to say, my body, my right. I get it, right? But at the same time, if you make better choices with your vagina, we wouldn't be in situations like this, right? Because at the same time, you say, okay, your choice, right? You don't have to take accountability for making mistakes sexually, none of that, right? But a man has to take full responsibility in the court of law when you choose to have that baby, even if he don't want to. So I believe it needs to be some type of some type of equal situation going on because y'all stay hollering equal rights. I don't see nothing equal there. And I see an incentive in having more babies because the more babies we have in the Black community, the better our future and everything becomes. Where we at right now is like stagnant numbers, and it's like we could definitely be doing better. You feel me? And yeah, I agree with a lot of different situations with abortion where is need be, where, the R word is involved with sexual assault and stuff like that and other cases. But if you out here just sleeping around, giving your vagina to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, not using no type of protection, but you feel that, you could just go and get an abortion, it's crazy to me. Because we all know what happens when you have unprotected sex. So my thing is, what are we doing here? We have to start holding ourselves accountable, especially you women. I'm going to say it and I'm going to keep saying it again, because men are more accountable when you think about it, right? I have a great analogy. I'm going to break it down, right? Let's say we in construction, right? We have all different types of companies that regulate how this building is going to be built, from OSHA to safety to different city codes, all this stuff, right, are all regulations to hold every man on that site, on that building site, accountable for that building. Why? Because if they don't hold each other accountable, this building could come crashing down. And a lot of people will die from this situation, right? So when you really think about men, we hold each other accountable more. So I would love to challenge you, ladies, you women out there, to start doing better with your vagina. And maybe you wouldn't have to keep getting all these goddamn abortions. Because mentally, I think it's insane to really feel like you could just have sex and just keep killing babies. I said what I said. You can get mad if you want to. But we're not going to stay on this subject too long. But like I told y'all, this show is going to be controversial. And if you don't like it, don't subscribe, don't watch it, don't leave comments, because you motherfuckers in the comments be talking. I don't care. Y'all stay in my comments talking to me about what I'm doing and how I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to say what I'm saying, because a lot of this stuff I'm saying is factual stuff. And y'all just be in the comments running y'all mouth. And my thing is, right, what do you get out of it? Because me personally, I don't watch nobody's content, get in their comments and speak negative. Because if it's something I don't like, I just don't watch it. You're wasting precious time out of your life to watch somebody else's content and wasting even more time to leave a comment when you could be taking that precious time to develop a better life for yourself and your kids or whoever, your family or whoever. So my thing is, you're wasting time. You see what I'm doing? This is what I do. I am a content creator. You hear me? So I'm living my life. I'm living my dreams. I'm being creative. I'm being productive. What are you doing? That's the question you need to ask yourself. You feel me? Now we on to the next topic. Dating apps. And they asked, the question is dating apps good or bad for the future of dating? Being that I'm on both sides of the spectrum, I would say it's good depending on how we use it, right? It's just like the internet. If we use the internet for just nothing but negative shit, of course it's gonna affect the future negatively, right? So I would say if you're if all you're doing is on these dating apps, just sitting at home on your couch, not doing nothing with your life, and you just on these dating apps, uh, looking to have sex, just looking to, use people just for all the wrong reasons, yeah, I can see it being bad for the future. But if you're on there actually looking to meet people, looking to vibe with people, all that good stuff, yeah, I can see it being beneficial because for me, when I get on the dating apps, I'm actually looking for women to vibe with, to see what they talking about, just seeing what the connection is out there. Because like I said, I'm actually out in the streets as well, where I go out and talk to women in real life. So it's not like I'm just on these dating apps. If you ask me, it is extremely weird for a man to just be on a dating app all day and never go out to talk to women in real life. Like you gotta you gotta be a part of both worlds. You know what I mean? And it's like, basically, what are you looking for? You know what I'm saying? Some people are looking for marriage. Some people are looking for just a regular relationship. And like I said, there's some people that's just looking to have a good time. There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like you should just put it out there. And from my perspective, ladies, stop with the filters. Stop with the goddamn makeup all over your face in every picture. Like, let me see you. I want to see you. I want to see your natural self. Because what do you think, like, when I get with you, that one day you're not going to have to take this makeup off and I'm not going to see what you actually look like? Like, I want to be able to roll over in the morning and see your natural face. I want to see your natural beauty. And you may take it as me talking shit. Yeah, I am. I'm trying to help y'all get better. Like, I feel like if a woman has suggestions to help me get better, I'm going to take heed to it if it makes sense. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to take it as an attack, but it is what it is. And another thing, I was talking to one of my homies yesterday about this. You ladies that be on these dating apps with pictures of you and your homegirls, like, what are you doing? Are you promoting your homegirls or are you promoting yourself? I'm confused because it makes absolutely no fucking sense. Because I know a lot of dudes that'll get with you just to fuck your homegirls. I'm just saying. So you got to be careful on what you're doing and what you're trying to promote. You know what I'm saying? When you look at my profile, it's just me. I'm not going to have my homeboy standing next to me for what? That it makes no sense. Like, what are we doing here? Are we adults or are we in high school? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if we have any more topics, do we? Oh yeah, I seen today the homie just sent me a DM of the Rosa Parks situation and the internet going up in an uproar about Rosa Parks' husband having a car. Like, what are we talking about? How, like, it is funny, but how is it that that's a talking point more so than the fact that Rosa Parks stood in for the actual young lady that actually happened to first, which was a young Black woman that was a teenager that was pregnant, and they couldn't use her as the face of that movement. Rosa Parks was already an activist in the community. So they used her as, you know what I mean, as the face of this situation to push it. So My thing is, even if that wasn't true and her husband did have a car, what if he was at work? Like, like I'm confused. Like, if it was one car in the family, like, why wouldn't she be on the bus? Like, I'm confused. Cause I'm pretty sure back then men was making more than women, so his job was more important. You know what I mean? And she probably wasn't even working back then. So what would be the conversation that we're talking about with Rosa Parks' husband having a car? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm pretty sure maybe even the teenage girl that was pregnant on the bus that it happened to first, somebody in her family probably had a car. Like, what are we talking about? We talk about stupid shit all the fucking time. What are we talking about? Like, let's like normalize talking about real important things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get it. It's a time and place to talk about bullshit. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I talk about BS all the time. But I also talk about more productive things, more things that can elevate us, more things that can, you know what I mean, push the culture forward. Because where we at right now is just like everything is so fucking dumbed down. It's like when you see somebody, you just automatically think they stupid. Like when people see me, they be so confused on how well spoken I am. And I be like, how are you confused? But at the same time, I get it because of what's going on in society. And they judge you based on how you look and how you dress, whatever, you know what I mean? So I get it. But yeah, like I said, man, let's normalize talking about stuff that's going to help push the culture forward. It's about evolution. And when we headed into 2025, it's going to be a lot of things taking place where we're going to have a plan set in place for what's coming, because it's a lot of crazy shit that's about to happen, whether you believe it or not. And all this division, fighting amongst each other within the Black community is only going to further the detriment in which we in right now. Like we're in a situation where we don't have time to be bickering, going back and forth with each other. When something is said that's factual, it should be stood on. It should be at least communicated and not fought over, to where we can come to an understanding and start to figure out how can we better this. You know what I mean? Because it's really not even for us. It's for our kids. We can't be here forever. So what about our kids? Are we worried about them, or are we worried about what we talking about? Because what we talking about is some bullshit that may have happened 10 years ago, or some shit that happened last year. It don't matter. What is the future? The future is the kids, and we got to start setting examples for them, showing them what it is, how it is, uncut, unraw truth. You feel me? When I'm talking to my sons, I don't hold back. I tell them the truth. This is what it is. I make sure they know what's going on in the world. We got to stop hiding shit from these kids, because they know what's going on. They seeing it in the media. They seeing it in the streets. They seeing it. So we got to start explaining to them what's going on, so we can keep them from making the same mistakes that we made. You know what I mean? Like, I gang banged. I've been to prison. I've been to jail. I've done all that. So when I talk to my sons, I talk directly to them at every age. I talk to them because I know at every age what they're thinking, what they're going through. My youngest is 10. I know what he's going through at 10. My middle son is 14. I know what he's going through at 14. My oldest is 18, almost 19, in his second year of college. skipped all the street shit, all that. Why? Because I was there to talk to him about the bitches and the hoes and what they gonna do to try to distract you. The gang banging shit, what they gonna try to do to distract you, try to show you that this shit is cool when it's not. Don't get a record so you can go and get legal guns, so you can go and get you know what I mean? So you can have a life full of prosperity without having felonies on your record. You know what I mean? Like, I have to deal with all that. So I tell them, like, look, I done did enough of that for y'all to never have to go through that again. So I say all that to say that we got to start telling our kids the truth, and in a way that it wasn't told to us when we was growing up. You know what I mean? My parents didn't tell me the truth. And I feel like it held me back a little bit because I had to go out in the streets and find out on my own. Now, maybe if my dad would have came and sat me down and told me about the streets, I would have went the other way. But instead, not knowing, I went out there blindly and had to make a lot of mistakes before I got to the point to where I was like, you know what? This all is some bullshit. It's made up. They lying to us. These niggas that call themselves my big homie is lying to me. When I went to prison and went to jail, none of these niggas was there. I had to call my mom. Man, listen, for the young dudes out there that's watching this show, listen, I'm going to be giving y'all nothing but game. I'm going to be giving y'all tips on how to stay out the way, stay out of prison, and get your life together. You hear me? Because to what they call a square is not really a square. It's a real man. You know what I mean? They like to call it a square. But even if they do call it a square, then fuck it, I'm a square. Because I done squared all the way the fuck up. You hear me? I'm not about to let nobody get into the way of what I need to do for the future by telling me, oh, you soft, or you a bitch, or you something because somebody else says something and I didn't crash out. Like, crash out for what? Because soon as you go to jail, them same people that was telling you what you should have did is going to be the same people calling you stupid. Oh, he's stupid. He shouldn't have did that. And whoop-de-whoop. You feel me? So you got to be wise in your decisions. It's called emotional intelligence. And to be honest, I'm just now learning this shit. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. A lot of stuff that I'm telling y'all and going to be telling y'all is stuff that I'm working on myself right now in real time. It's going to be raw and uncut with the South Central B.ROB Show. You feel me? It's not going to be no editing. It's going to be real uncensored and raw. You hear me? Let's see what else we got to talk about. Let's see. I'll pull my phone out. Oh, yeah, the budget. The budget. Could you pull up the federal spending for 2020? I think it was 23.
So what have we been spending some of our federal funds on? Let's review. Almost $550,000 went to a Russian lab to run experiments on cats' brains. That was spent by the National Institutes of Health. $3.7 million of funding went to a study on monkeys and gambling, another NIH fascinating project. And the State Department awarding tens of thousands of dollars for drag shows in Ecuador. And that's just the tip of the wasteful spending iceberg.
That's crazy.
Here's Senator.
Like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? This is where our money is going. Outside of the country on nonsense. People work hard for their money and we're being taxed. Every time you look at your paycheck stub, you look at the tax amount that you're getting taxed, and this is where your money's going. And mind you, we don't get none of this money back. We don't get none of that goddamn money back. They give us a very small percentage of that money back. but they're spending our money on whatever the fuck they want to. It's like we're actually being prostituted out and they're pimping us. When you think about it, what does a pimp do? Put his hoe on the stroll. She bring the money back. He spends it however he sees fit and give her what he gives her. That's the same thing. When are we going to wake up and start to figure out that it's a bigger picture for us to be fighting about? Instead of fighting each other, we need to be fighting the power. Like Public Enemy said in the late 80s. It's the same message. Fight the power. Let's keep going.
Last year, the State Department did a grant to Ecuador to host 12 drag shows in Ecuador with American tax dollars. Now, may have different opinions in this room on drag shows. I'm just asking the simple question, is the best use of American tax dollars to actually fund drag shows in Ecuador with U.S. tax dollars? National Science Foundation last year did a study of butterflies,
but it's not,
in Europe. So we funded with American taxpayer dollars. Last year, there was also a NEA grant that was done to set up a display in Brooklyn for the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which, by the way, is not even an American band. We had an almost, $350,000 grant to study smart toilets. Was one of the grants that we actually paid for with our federal tax dollars last year. We also had a grant that was done studying colonial Mexican soundscapes. We, last year, did a study on helmets and seatbelts in Ghana to be able to study whether seatbelts and helmets were effective for saving lives in Ghana. Can I just go ahead and answer that question for free? Seatbelts and helmets are a good idea. They save lives. Free.
I mean, like, the transparency should always be transparency is basically what I'm saying. When spending tax dollars, how do we not know this as a whole? Because I don't see us being cool with this. Like, how are we cool with this? Like, they're spending money outside of the country on a bunch of bullshit. I'm not working to pay for this stuff, while the cost of living over here is crazy. People are losing everything, and they're taking money outside of this country to fund wars where the government is unaliving women and children. Over in Palestine, this is crazy where our money is going. And y'all wonder why they chose Donald Trump. Who's backing the war? The same lady that was running for presidency, backing the war. And she told y'all that she wouldn't have done anything different. I'm confused. Are we voting on emotion? Are we using our emotions over the logic, which means we need life, roof over our head, the cost of living to go down? Like, are we choosing emotions over that? I'm confused here. Let's continue.
So let's show you a few more things of outrageousness that our tax dollars are being spent on. $100,000 to see if a sunfish is more aggressive when given gin or tequila.
Oh my gosh.
So look at this, y'all. The federal spending of 2023. You see it with your own eyes. Like, look at this. Like, this is a bunch of stuff that we don't know nothing about. $350,000 to develop an AI smart toilet. Like, what is that? 660,000 to study the impact that COVID had on Russian women? How is that even justified? Like, how is that justified? 1.5 million to study, what does that say? The mating, 1.5 million to study the mating call of the country frog to see if there's a difference between city frogs. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what? They spent $1.5 million to see what's the difference between a mating call from a country frog and a city frog. Y'all see it. This is unacceptable, and I guarantee you will not continue to ride in this country unless they are ready for some type of civil unrest, because people are going to be out on the streets and looking at charts like this, ready to basically turn this country into a bloodbath, because this is crazy. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't even explain this. Like, who could really sit back and explain this to people? Nobody could. There's nobody that would agree with this other than the people that profited and benefited off of this bullshit. Yeah, this is the first episode. Y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all comment, like, share, subscribe. I know everybody say that all the time, so I'm going to say it as well, because I guess at this point, if you don't say it, people is acting like you don't want them to subscribe to your channel or some shit. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it anyway. But yeah, y'all tap in on all my social medias. They right there on the screen. Y'all see what it is. I got bigger and better things on the way. So stay tuned, locked in. And like I always say, nobody got these fingerprints. I'm different.
Gotta get some more money.